Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to American Defender. Today, we are going to explore some lost arts of gunsmithing. I know a lot of you like it when I dive into this technical stuff like this. Okay. So, today, the quote-unquote lost art we're going to discuss is chamfering your cylinder. Really, it's chamfering the chambers in your cylinder is what we're going to be looking at. I have 3 different revolvers sitting here that I just did this to, and it took me 25 minutes to do 3 revolvers by hand, no machinery. Okay, I have a Smith & Wesson 642. This was probably the hardest one out of all of them to do it on because I had to remove the cylinder. All right, and the method that I used on this one. All right, so we're going to go over a couple different methods and tools and things. But I have a Smith & Wesson 642-1 right here, built in March of '97 for all you Smithophites out there. All right, and then Taurus model 94. This one's already been cut for moon clips from the factory, but I went ahead and chamfered it anyway. All right, as you can see right there, so you can see the chamfering, little silver rings. All right, and then I have the Viroc HW6 here, 22 Magnum, and we did it on this one too. All right, and it doesn't take long at all, and it's not expensive. So if you go to a gunsmith and you ask them, like I did, just out of curiosity before I made this video, and you ask them, well, what would you charge me to chamfer the chambers in my cylinder? And they look at you and give you a ridiculous price of something like, say, $150. You can look at them and go, you know, because the tool to do it is $15. Okay. And it'll literally take you 5 minutes, and anybody can do this. Okay. So this is a chamfer tool. All right. That is what this is. This is a chamfer tool. This is part of a set that my dad bought back in late 60s, early 70s. Okay. This is the last remaining one out of the set, actually. It's just a general tool. You can buy it, and it doesn't have to be a specific thing like this one, you know. If you're into hand loading, you have a chamfer tool for all your cases and everything. Guess what? That chamfer tool will probably work. I haven't tested one yet. I don't know where mine went, but it probably will work. Okay. You can buy chamfer tools at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Harbor Freight. You can buy them anywhere, you know. What a chamfer tool is, this one's a carbide bit. All right. So they're either high-speed steel usually or carbide. And what you'll have is 6 flutes. So if I get my camera to work right here, all right, you've got 6 little flutes here, 6 little cutting edges. So what that means is I think it is every 36 or every 60 degrees, all right, let's see here. So let me get this right mathematically. So you have 360 degrees in a circle. You've got 6 here, so 6 divided by 30. Yeah, so it's 60. All right. So, so every 60 degrees, you turn this thing. You're actually making a full cut. All right, because all 6 of these cut at once. That's just how it works. All right. The way we use this is very simple. No oil is needed or nothing. You might have to take the cylinder off the gun. I did little 22s here, so I didn't have to take the cylinder off the gun. And if you're using a small enough chamfer tool, you probably won't have to. But you literally take this thing, and you sit here like this, and you go, chamfered. Chamfered. And you just go cylinder to cylinder to cylinder. And now I'm not pushing really hard on this. You'll push harder than I'm doing, but literally you just run it. Okay. Let me go over to the Viroc because I don't carry it as much. I'll show you. I'll actually chamfer one of these a little deeper. See if I got one that's pretty shallow here. That one's kind of shallow. That could use a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to push in on it like this and okay, pull it out. There we go. And I'm going to try to make it to where you can see. Yeah, you can't see it. But it just very softly cuts the corner out of that hole. That's all it does. That's all you're doing. And you're basically making that opening like a funnel, so that the ammo will just fall right in and locate it, and it'll just go right in. All right, instead of having to fight that hard 90-degree angle that's usually on a bore like that, it directs it into there. Okay, that's what you're going to do. That is the chamfering tool. This is the tool I suggest that you use. Okay, you can get them on Amazon, eBay, everywhere. Okay, how do you select the right size? Well, like this one right here, I can't use on a 38. I can't. I was going to. I can't. All right. Why not? Well, because it's too small. So if you look here, it goes, you have a shoulder right there. All right. That shoulder is the end of your cutting surface. You don't go past that shoulder. So you want that hard corner to land anywhere between that shoulder and the tip. All right. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to measure your cartridge or your hole here. All right, pair of calipers. Maybe you have a set of gauge pins, a micrometer, whatever. Okay. And you're going to take that hole, and then you want to get a chamfering tool that's a little bit bigger. So, for instance, this is let's say this is 1.25. Let's just say it's 1.25 in diameter. It's 1.25 inches, right? 1/250. We could go to 1.5 inches, and that'll do it, because it'll land that hard spot into your flutes. And it doesn't matter where it lands on here, it's cutting the same angle all the way up. And in this particular case, looking at it, it's about a 33-degree angle. Okay, looking at this one. Well, no, that's 45. That's a hard 45 right there. So they come in different angles too: 45, 33, 25, 27 and a half, 66, 72. There's a whole bunch of different angles. 45 is pretty good. 33 is pretty good. If you can stick with those, that's the way to do it. Okay. The other ones are okay too. It just means that the cut's going to get set at a different angle. It'll be wider or shallower depending upon the angle of it. So look for I would suggest a good 45-degree angle, 33 degrees, somewhere in there. Stay in that area. You can kick it on up if you want to 66, because what I'm going to show you is a way to cut the 66 degrees. Okay, but 45 is really what you want. Okay. But you want it to be big enough that it'll land on those flutes, on the cutting surface of the bit and away from the shoulder. Okay. Now that I've mentioned that, let's say you happen to have a few tools around and you want to know, what can I use so I don't have to buy this? Again, buy this. Okay, buy one of these tools. But there are things you can do. All right, there are other tools you can do. They just make it a lot trickier. All right. Now, using a drill bit, a standard drill bit, don't do that. No, don't use a standard drill bit. Will it cut that corner? Yeah, but it might cut it wonky. All right, so don't do that. What about an end mill? Actually, yes, an end mill works. Okay, so that's what I cut my 38 with, was this exact setup right here. I just this right here is a stud extractor, but you could call it a chuck too, because that's basically how it works. I've just got it in this little chuck, all right, and I'm using this as a handle. You can use a tap handle too if you've got a big enough one. And got it fastened in there. And what we're using, again, we don't care about this tip. We care about down here on the shoulder. That's what we care about, okay? And so, same thing, we want to be on the cutting edge. Now remember, this is a 2 flute, which means there's only 2 cutting edges, which means we're gonna have to move this 180 degrees every cut, all right, to get a full circle. So the way I did this on this one, and it's hard to see on silver guns, but you can kind of see that I did it, and it does work. It does work. We're just going to cut that hard corner out, all right? Don't cut too deep. And with this is where the dangers come in, because you can cut way too deep with this. All right. Because this has a cutting edge going all the way down. Do not go past that shoulder. Do not do it. You want to ride about middle of this angle right here. All right. That angle right there. You want to ride about middle, a little bit high, but do not go past that shoulder. If you go to put this in here, and that shoulder, like you can see here maybe. You can't really see it. I've got a little bit of a gap between that shoulder and the surface of the cylinder. That's what you want. All right, that's how you know it'll work. Because what this is going to do is cut that angle right there. It's going to put the photo negative of that right there is what it's going to do. Okay. So what we want to do here, again, I'm not going to actually cut this one, but I'm going to kind of show you. This would be removed. All right. The cylinder on the larger calibers, generally, you want to remove the cylinder. We go ahead and we get it in here and we hold it straight and we go super slow and we press in and just like this, little half turns. Okay. And then maybe if we need to, we can kind of kick it around here like this. Show you what I'm doing. All right. So get it in there. And just do half turns. Okay. Just like that. And there's a little chip right there. You don't want to gouge it. Get that chip out of there. There we go. Got it out. All right. Don't want to gouge it. Don't push in on it. Just let the bit do the work and put a little pressure on it. But it's not great pressure. It's just, cut like that. And one thing you'll also notice when you go in to do this is sometimes the star on your extractor here, because we're cutting the extractor too. The star on the extractor sometimes can bump this. You want to try to avoid that, but as long as you got this thing centered, you can just sit here and real slowly you can cut it and make it work. And now what does it do for you? Again, like I said, it makes it to where this is easier to do this. Okay, that's what it does. All right, it cuts down the amount of fumbling you do. All right, it's just whoop, goes right on in. All right, because what it does is it creates an angle for the tip of the bullet here to find, and then it just falls in. That's how it works. All right, stupid simple. Love revolvers. Okay. That is cutting your chamfering your chambers. All right, that's how you do it. All right, not to be confused with boring your chamber out or not boring it, reaming your chambers. Okay, not to be confused with that. That's a completely different thing. All right, you're not reaming here. All you're doing is cutting the corner off of the entrance of the hole. That's it. The entrance of the bore. We're cutting that hard 90 off and making it funnel shaped is what we're doing, so that your speed loaders and your moon clips and everything, even if you're not looking, it's hard to do it that way, you can't see it. All right, so when you're not looking, you can just kind of sit here, and even if you do fumble, it finds it and it just drops down in. All right, that's why you do it. It's just to speed you up a little bit and assist you in a reload. That's all it's for. Okay. So with that is the end of the video. I know you guys like a lot of this technical stuff and how I explain it and things. So I'm going to try to return back to this, but if you did like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and God bless you. God bless America. Take a kid fishing, take a kid shooting, and I will see you on the flip. Bye now.